Right, everyone. Now, please come to the next chapter. Please come to returns, everyone. Please come to returns. Now, the next chapter which we are going to do is the chapter of returns. Everyone over here, listen. We started learning GST with goods or service. Goods or service has to be supplied. Supply can be either interstate supply or supply can be either intrastate. Interstate supply, what will be levied? IGST. Intrastate, what will be levied? CGST. Once GST gets levied, GST has to be, you have to collect and pay if you are a taxable person. How will you collect and pay? You will calculate GST, and GST is equal to value of supply into rate of tax. Once you know the value, you will prepare the tax invoice, credit note, debit note, and delivery challan. Now you will go ahead and maintain them in your accounts and records. Now you will send the goods to the other person with the help of e-way bill. Always remember, once you have gone ahead and maintained your accounts and records and send the goods to the other person, government says, beta, what are you waiting for? Your liability to pay GST has come. Liability comes at the time of supply. Once your liability has come, you will go ahead and use your input tax credit. Remaining amount, you will go ahead and make the payment. Now listen, government goes ahead and says, beta, you have to go ahead and file your return. So, sir, how much was my liability? How much input I used? How much payment I did? Will you call and tell the government? No, 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 no. You will go ahead and give this all detail through a return. And here we are in our chapter of returns. Everyone, in the chapter of returns, listen. People, in the chapter of returns, I believe returns is a C-graded chapter. In my opinion, returns is a C-grade chapter. 3 to 4 mark is the maximum which I expect out of the chapter. But your good luck can be very good. You get a 6-mark question. But I believe it should be 3 to 4 mark, which is the maximum. Everyone over here. Sir, why do you say 3 to 4 mark? 3 mark, 1 question, 1 mark, 1 MCQ. That is generally the thought. Everyone over here now. In returns ka chapter, everyone, let's go ahead and quickly recap returns chapter. Whenever one supplier will start the business, he does not have to go ahead and file any returns, etc. People, whenever a supplier starts the business, one day he will become liable. One day he'll become liable. The day he becomes liable, he should apply within 30 days. Once you go ahead and apply and the registrant certificate is granted, registrant certificate is valid from the date of becoming liable. So from here till here, whatever supply you have done, you will issue what, everyone? Revised tax invoice. All the revised tax invoice, you should show it in a return, which is known as first return. Although practically the first return never happened. Although practically the first return never came. But from exam point of view, they can go ahead and ask you, what is the first return? Please be careful. Can I go ahead, everyone? So whatever supplies you have gone ahead and done during this period, all the supply ke liye issue revised tax invoice. Collect the GST and pay the GST to the government. Now, when you issue the revised tax invoice, collect the GST and pay the GST to the government, this person will want the credit. Yes or no, everyone? How will he get the credit? Only when you show it in your first return. But you know what? Practically what people do, all these invoices, they show in the first return which they go ahead and file. Not the first return, because first return is not there. Whatever GSTR1 and GSTR3B you are filing, in that people go ahead and show all these supplies. Now, what will happen? Regular return will start. What are the regular returns, everyone? One is a GSTR1, one is a GSTR3B. For composition dealer, it is GSTR4, and for NRTP, it is GSTR5. Now, every month you will file GSTR1, GSTR3B, GSTR1, GSTR3B, GSTR1, GSTR3B. Once the year gets over, what will you go ahead and file? Annual return. Everyone, after the year end, by 31st of December, you are required to file annual return, which is GSTR 9. For composition dealer, it is GSTR 9A. Along with your GST return, annual return, you should file one self-certified reconciliation statement if your aggregate turnover is more than 5 crore. So annual return and reconciliation statement. Everyone over here, listen to me very carefully. Sir, annual return and reconciliation statement. Listen, you have to remember, if your aggregate turnover is less than equal to 2 crore, annual return you are not required. Why, sir? Because for 17-18 to 22-23, actually in the year 23-24 also now, Now 23-24 के लिए also registered person with aggregate turnover up to 2 crore is exempted from the filing of annual return. Everyone over here now, tell me one thing. Annual return required, not required? Reconciliation statement required, not required? Not required. Sir, if my aggregate turnover is more than 2 crore, up to 5 crore, then annual return required. Reconciliation statement not required. If my aggregate turnover is more than 5 crore, annual return also required and reconciliation statement also required. But you have to remember one thing, everyone. They have gone ahead and told over here, this section is not applicable to department of whom, everyone? Central government, state government, local authority, whose books of accounts are audited by whom? C&AG or auditor appointed under their law. So if your books of accounts are being audited by C&AG or auditor appointed under their law, so for you, annual return reconciliation statement ka concept is not applicable. Now, sir, I was filing monthly return, annual return. I got tired with the doing of business. I went ahead and applied for cancellation. Everyone over here, business discontinued and cancellation applied. Then, Baba, your suspension ka proceedings will start. Yes or no, everyone? Basically, cancellation ka proceeding will start and your registration will be suspended. And one day, your cancellation order will come. Remember one thing. This is your cancellation order. They went ahead and cancelled your registration retrospectively from this day. Remember, from the date of cancellation or the cancellation order, whichever is later, within 3 months, you have to go ahead and tell a bye-bye to GST, pay all your GST dues which are there, and file one bye-bye return, which is GSTR 10. Within how much time, everyone? 3 months. Remember, in your exam, they can go ahead and ask you one question. Is there a difference between annual return and final return? Yes. Annual return is filed after every year by 31st of December. And final return from date of cancellation or the cancellation order, whichever is later, within 3 months, you have to file one final return. Tell me one thing. GSTR1 is required to be filed by every registered person except what? NRTP, composition dealer, TDS deductor, TCS collector and OIDR. These people are not required to file their GSTR 1. Now, people, tell me one thing. I will file, normal registered person will file GSTR 1 or use invoice furnishing facility, correct? This will go to the front person in GSTR 2. NRTP will file GSTR 5. This will go to the front person in GSTR 2A. ISD will file GSTR 6. It will go to the front person in GSTR 2A. TDS collector and TCS collector will file GSTR 7 and 8. The amount will go to the home in your GSTR 2A. Importation of goods. IOG means what, everyone? Importation of goods from outside India or SEZ supplying to a domestic tariff area. Always remember, the details will also go in your GSTR 2A. Here what will happen, all the GSTR 2A ka details will be picked up and the portal will always prepare for you what, everyone? GSTR 2B. The details of the outward supply furnished in GSTR 1, GSTR 5, 6 and invoice furnishing facility, all the invoices ka detail plus details of the IGST paid on import of goods and goods brought in the domestic tariff area from an SEZ. Always remember one thing, whatever the invoices, people, supplier filed GSTR 1, it came in 2A and what got created? 2B. Earlier there was 2A which was relevant, now 2A is irrelevant. What is the basis on which you go ahead and take the credit? 2B. Is my point clear to all? Tell me one thing, suppliers, all the different kinds of suppliers, they'll file what? GSTR 1, GSTR 5, GSTR 6, all this. It will come in your 2A and 2B say what? 2A say what will get created? 2B. And you will take the credit on the basis of GSTR 2B. Now, sir, there are people who can be under quarterly return. People, there are people who are under quarterly return and there are people who are not under QRMP scheme. What is QRMP, everyone? Quarterly return, monthly payment. Remember, QRMP means what? Quarterly return, monthly payment. Everyone over here, listen. If you are a person who is not under QRMP scheme, then you will file your GSTR 1 by what date? Every month gets over by what date? Next month, 11th. Can I go ahead, everyone? Earlier the date was 10th, but now the date has been made 11th. Sir, GSTR1. I will file GSTR1, that is outward supplies ka detail, and the amount will come in what? Front person ka GSTR 2A. So if I file GSTR1, the details will come to you in GSTR 2A, and then you will get the details in your GSTR 2B. The auto-generated 2B ka basis pe you will take your input tax credit. People, do you guys remember returns? Yes, no, I'm not explaining the process. I'm revising the process that supplier will file GSTR1, it will come in your GSTR2A, and then it will come in your GSTR2B. Next. Now, if you are a supplier under quarterly return monthly payment, remember one thing. Who are the people who are eligible for QRMP scheme? Quarterly return, monthly payment. How many GSTR1 in one quarter? One GSTR1. How many GSTR3B? One GSTR3B. Everyone over here. April, May, June. Supposing this is the quarter. First, you will go ahead and do, sir, how will the front person get the credit if I don't file GSTR1? You can use one facility called invoice furnishing facility. But okay, first point I want to tell you, if you are under QRMP scheme, who are the people allowed to be under QRMP scheme? Whose aggregate turnover in preceding financial year is less than equal to 5 crore. If your turnover in the last year is up to how much, everyone? 5 crore, then current year you can be under QRMP scheme. GSTR3B you will file quarterly. By what date, everyone? 22nd or 24th. Everyone over here. So for an example, April, May, June is my first quarter. I am under QRMP scheme. Remember, for the first 2 months, you will use what, everyone? IFF facility, and for the whole quarter, you will go ahead and file your GSTR1. When I go ahead and use the IFF, the due date for GSTR1 is 13. But invoice furnishing facility, the due date is what, everyone? 13th. 13th, 13th, and 13th. Can I go ahead, everyone? In your invoice furnishing facility, you will only show B2B invoices and the credit will go to the front person. B2B invoices and the credit will go to the front person. Here, when you are filing June month, May, the GSTR1, whatever B2C supplies, you have not shown in the first 2 months, and B2C, June month ka B2B and B2C, April and May ka B2C invoices, and B2B ka, if there is any remaining invoice, that also you can go ahead and show. And the amount will go where, everyone? In the front party ka GSTR 2A. From GSTR 2A, what gets created is GSTR 2B. How will it take the credit? On the basis of GSTR 2A or 2B? 2B. Are we all clear till here? I have gone ahead in detail. Also, I have written QRMP scheme. Please come to the next page, everyone. Everyone over here, listen. Who are the people who are eligible for QRMP scheme? Supposingly, this is the year 2021. If I am a registered person other than OIDR, OIDRs are not eligible for QRMP scheme other than OIDR. And if my preceding financial year, means this year ka turnover, is how much, everyone? 5 crore, then I am eligible for QRMP scheme. It means for the next year, I can take QRMP scheme. Always remember, this option is GST and wise. If I have supposingly under my PAN number 2 businesses which are there, 2 separate GSTN, can one be under QRMP? Can one be not under QRMP? Yes. Remember, this option is available GSTN wise. Option exercise once shall continue unless you go ahead and revise. People, option exercise once will continue unless you go ahead and revise. Next. Sir, first quarter I am under QRMP. Okay, you are eligible. Second quarter I am under QRMP. Eligible. Third quarter I cross my aggregate turnover. That quarter you can still be under QRMP scheme, but the next quarter you will become ineligible. Sir, always remember, registered person should have filed the last return on the date of exercising the option to go for QRMP. The day you feel that I should go for QRMP scheme, whatever is your GST return due, you must have gone ahead and filed. Only then you will be given the QRMP scheme. My question to all of you, who are the people eligible for QRMP scheme? Whose last year turnover is up to 5 crore. In the current year, you can go for QRMP scheme. Is QRMP scheme all India basis or GST and wise? GST and wise. Is my point clear to all? Sir, once I go ahead and take QRMP scheme, post opting for QRMP scheme, quarterly return has to be filed, but monthly payment has to be done. So what is the option available? Sir, how do I make monthly payment? For an example, April month ke liye I have to make the payment by what date? 25th of next month. May month ke liye I have to make the payment by what date? 25th of June. June month ke liye when will I make the payment? By July, when you are filing your GSTR 3B. The due date for GSTR 3B for QRMP people are 22nd or 24th. 22nd is for whom? Lower part of India. Upper part of India ke liye it is 24th. Sir, do we have to remember the state? Not required. Everyone over here now, listen. Sir, I am first time under QRMP scheme. I am first time under QRMP scheme. Last month, March month May, people listen. Sir, how do I make the payment? How do I make the payment? You are telling make monthly payment. But sir, I am not filing the return. I will not do the calculation output minus input. So how do I go ahead and make the payment? So government went ahead and told, do one thing. Last month, if you are new under QRMP scheme, last month, what you are paid through your e-cash ledger, that amount you can pay 100% and 100% now. Is my point clear to all? I'll go ahead and ask you. Everyone listen. This is the quarter. April, May and June. April ka I have to make the payment by 25th. May month ka I have to make the payment by 25th. And then for the whole quarter, what I will do? When the quarter gets over, when I am filing GSTR 3B on 22nd or 24th, I will calculate full quarter ka output tax liability, full quarter ka input tax credit, and balance I will go ahead and make the payment. Do you guys agree with me? From this amount also, I will deduct whatever I have already paid, and then balance I will make the payment. Do you guys agree with me? Everyone over here now, listen. Sir, I am under QRMP scheme for the first time. How do I make the payment? Because I am not doing any calculation. You are telling, sir, because I am not filing my GSTR 3B every month, how will I do the calculation? I am not doing the calculation. How do I make the payment? So government went ahead and told, last month, March was there. March ka when you filed GSTR 3B, how much did you pay? That much you can pay 100% now, 100% now. No problem. Same amount you can pay in the month of April also. Same amount you can pay in the month of May also. June month, when it gets over, when you are doing the actual calculation, you can calculate output minus input, balance you can go ahead and make the payment by deducting whatever is already paid. Everyone over here now. See, it says option. One is fixed sum method, one is self-assessment method. What is fixed sum method, everyone? 1 minute. If last month you were under monthly return, whatever you had paid in the last month, 100% of the GST paid in the last month, 100% of the GST paid in the last month, you can pay now, and remaining you can pay differential when you are filing the GSTR 3B. Sir, this month I am under QRMP scheme, right? This month I am already under QRMP scheme. Yes or no, everyone? Now listen. April, May and June. Am I under QRMP scheme? Now next quarter, July, August, September. How much should I pay in July? This QRMP scheme, you are already under QRMP scheme in the month of April, May, June. You would have filed your GSTR 3B. Output tax liability minus input tax credit. How much did you pay? Of that amount, you can pay 35%. For August, you can pay how much? 35%. And then when the quarter gets over, do actual calculation and pay the balance. Everyone over here now. You can pay 35% of the GST paid in the previous quarter, 35% of the GST paid in the previous quarter. If your previous return was filed what? Quarterly. And then the differential amount has to be paid. Remember, if you follow this method, no interest is to be paid on any tax, unpaid or short paid, unless you went ahead and did not pay the amount on due date. If you have paid all your amount on due date, there is no interest which is to be paid. Everyone over here, sir, I will go by SAM method. I will every month, sir, what is this? Last quarter ka, whatever I had paid, 35% balance. Last month what I had paid, 100% balance. I don't want to follow this. I will pay actual amount. I will pay actual. Then Baba, every month you can do the output tax liability minus input tax liability and pay the balance. Output tax liability minus input tax credit and pay the balance. Here also output tax liability minus input tax credit and pay the balance. But remember, if by chance your calculation went wrong, from the date, from here you have to pay interest till the date of filing GSTR 3B. Everyone over here, interest is payable under section number 50 on any tax unpaid or short paid at the time of filing the GSTR 3B. Everyone over here now, listen. What is monthly return? Every month one GSTR 3B, one GSTR 1, one GSTR 3B. What is quarterly return, everyone? What is quarterly return? Every month, are you required to file return or every quarter ke liye one GSTR 3B and GSTR 1? One GSTR 1 and one GSTR 3B. Yes? But payments has to be done every month. How do you make the payment? Either use fixed sum method or self-assessment method. Can I go ahead, everyone? Everyone over here now, listen. Please come back. Please come back. Everyone, please come back. Huh? Everyone here now. Listen. There are some cases when people will be barred from filing their GSTR1. Very, very important to all, everyone over here. There are some cases when people will be barred from filing what, everyone? GSTR1 or IFF. You know, people are big cheaters. They'll file GSTR1, not file their GSTR3B. Filing GSTR1, passing the credit, not filing their GSTR3B. Government went ahead and told, we will block your GSTR1. Are we clear? And hence, we are going to learn about the cases when registered person will be debarred from furnishing GSTR1 or using IFF. Everyone, a registered person is not allowed to furnish details in GSTR1 or if GSTR3B has not been furnished for the preceding month. Last month I filed GSTR1 but did not file GSTR3B. Next month ka GSTR1 you cannot file. A registered person with aggregate turnover up to 5 crore in the preceding financial year and opt for quarterly return, not allowed to furnish details in GSTR1 or use IFF. People, last quarter what I did, I filed my IFF. I filed my GSTR1. I did not file GSTR3B. Next quarter, IFF also not allowed, GSTR1 also not allowed. It says, you will not be allowed to furnish details in GSTR1 or use your IFF if he has not furnished GSTR3B for the preceding tax period. Rule number 88C I want to talk now, which is there over here. Rule number 88C I want to talk over here. Listen. What is rule number 88C going ahead and telling? People, listen to me very carefully. In your GSTR1, you showed 1 crore sale and 1 minute. In your GSTR1, you went ahead and showed 1 crore ka sale, 18 lakh ka liability. GSTR3B, you showed 1 lakh ka sale and 18,000 ka liability. Is there a difference between liability reported in GSTR1 and GSTR3B? If there is a difference, you will be sent one love letter. You will get one intimation saying, sir, there is a difference between your GSTR1 and GSTR3B ka liability. That liability, either you pay or you reply. Are we clear, everyone? If you don't pay also or you don't give a reply also, officer will get angry and Baba, he will start recovery. Can I go ahead, everyone? That is told by rule number 88C. What is rule number 88C telling, everyone? See, manner of dealing with difference in the liability in GSTR1 and GSTR3B, where the tax payable by registered person in GSTR1 or IFF exceeds the tax payable in GSTR3B by such amount and percentage as may be recommended by the council, the registered person shall be intimated of such difference in Part A of GST DRC 01B. You will be informed of such difference in GST DRC 01B on the portal, and also a copy will be sent to you on your mail, highlighting the difference and directing him pay the differential liability along with interest or explain the difference on the portal within how many days? 7 days. Either you should pay and furnish the details through which form? Part B of GST DRC 01B, or furnish a reply using Part B GST DRC 01B within how many days? Where any amount remains unpaid, or where no explanation is furnished, or where the explanation is not found acceptable by the proper officer, the amount shall be, they will hang you upside down and recover the amount. And you know what? If 1 month may, GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B, there is a difference. People, where is the difference? GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B, there is a difference. You are informed. Unless you rectify the difference, or unless you go ahead and reply, next month ka GSTR 1 blocked. And that is what is being told over here. See, a registered person to whom an intimation has been issued under 88C in respect of a tax period shall not be allowed to furnish GSTR 1 or IFF for a subsequent tax period unless he deposits the amount specified in the intimation or furnishes a reply explaining the reason for the amount unpaid. Tell me one thing, what are they going ahead and telling? They are telling, sir, unless you rectify the difference or unless you give a reply, next month ka GSTR 1 blocked. Everyone over here, tell me one thing. My GSTR 2B may, for an example, in my GSTR 2B, the credit which is appearing is only 10 lakh. But I went ahead and took 15 lakh credit while filing GSTR 3B. In 2B, it is appearing only 10 lakh. But when I was filing GSTR 3B, I took 15 lakh credit. Did I take more credit? More credit than what is appearing in my GSTR 2B. Cheating, no cheating. You cannot take the amount more than your GSTR 2B. If you take more credit, you will get a love letter. Either reply or pay the difference. That is told by rule number 88D. Everyone over here, next. People, GSTR 2B. See, GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B difference, rule number 88C. GSTR 2B and GSTR 3B, the ITC which is taken, GSTR 2B and GSTR 3B, the ITC which is taken, if there is a difference, you will be informed. Either reply or pay the differential. If you don't reply also, if you don't pay the differential also, they will first send you a demand order and then they will do the recovery. Can I go ahead, everyone? Everyone over here, see. Rule number 88D goes ahead and says, manner of dealing with difference in the ITC in GSTR 2B and ITC availed in GSTR 3B. Where the ITC availed by registered person in the return for a tax period furnished by him in GSTR 3B exceeds the ITC available in auto-generated statement GSTR 2B by such amount and percentage as may be recommended by the council, the registered person shall be intimated in Part A of GST DRC 01C on the portal and on email, highlighting the difference and directing him to either pay the excess along with interest through GST DRC 03 or explain the reason. Within how many days? Either you pay or you furnish a reply. Okay, everyone? But using which form? Part B of GST DRC 01C. Within how many days? 7 days. Sir, where the amount remains to be paid or where no explanation or reason is given or where the explanation is not found acceptable, the amount shall be demanded. Now listen, if 1 month may, your GSTR 2B and 3B may, there is a difference? No. They will give you an intimation. Next month ka GSTR 1 they will block unless you go ahead and rectify it or unless you go ahead and pay the differential. Everyone over here, a person to whom intimation has been issued under rule number 88D in respect of a tax period shall not be allowed to furnish GSTR 1 or use what facility? IFF for a subsequent tax period unless he either pays the amount specified in the intimation or furnishes a reply explaining the reason in respect of amount of excess ITC that is still remained unpaid. Unless you give a reply or unless you rectify your GSTR1 for the next month, they will go ahead and block. Once you are given registration, You should furnish your bank account detail. Do you guys remember? Within how many days? 30 days or your first GSTR1. If you did not go ahead and do it, your GSTR1 will be blocked. Remember one thing, a registered person shall not be allowed to furnish GSTR1 or use IFF if he has not furnished the details of the bank account as per rule number 10A. I want you guys to remember this point, very, very important. Number 1, last month का GSTR 3B not filed, next month का GSTR 1 block. Last quarter का GSTR 3B not filed, next quarter का GSTR 1 और IFF block. Rule number 88C का intimation has come, you have not replied or you did not pay the differential, GSTR 1 block. Rule number 88D में intimation has come, you have not replied or you have not paid the differential, GSTR 1 block. Sir, rule number 10A, you did not follow, did not give your bank account detail, your GSTR 1 shall be blocked. I believe this is important. Let's go ahead, everyone. Now, sir, can I file nil return? Yes, Baba, nil return can be filed. Can I file nil return through SMS? Yes. Nil GSTR 3B, GSTR 1 and CMP 08 can be furnished through SMS using the registered mobile number. Everyone over here, listen. Here, this returns which I have gone ahead and told, no, this returns. Sir, NRTP should file GSTR 5. OIDR and OMG. OMG is what? Online money gaming. Should file GSTR 5A. Okay, GSTR 5 due date is what, everyone? 13th. Supposingly, NRTP had got registration only for 10 days. He had got registration only for how many days? 10 days got over. Will he wait for the month to get over and then by 13th, or he can file within the next 7 days? Within the next 7 days. Remember, if NRTP has come to India, he will file with GSTR 5. By what date, everyone? Once the month gets over, by next month, 13th, or when? When registration validity expires within the next 7 days. Whichever is earlier. And they don't have any annual return. OIDR and OMG, it is GSTR 5. That is to be filed by next month, 20th. ISD has to file by GSTR 6 by the next month ka after 10th but on or before 13th. Next, TDS deducted, TCS collected, GSTR 7, GSTR 8 by 10th. I have already told you. Everyone over here now, not important. I believe late fee 1 mark can come. People, there is nothing for me to explain in late fee. Okay? You have to read and go. Everyone, this late fee. Please read the late fee and go. I have given the summary. See, I'll tell you one. Normal registered person. Okay, what will it? I will tell you. See here. Nil return, GSTR 1 or GSTR 3B, 10 rupees per day. Maximum can be 250. This is under CGST Act. Same amount payable under SGST Act. Normal registered person, other than nil return, you have to see the turnover. If turnover is up to 1.5 crore, 25, 20, this is okay. The difference is here. If turnover is up to 1.5 crore, it is 1000 rupees. More than 1.5, up to 5 crore, 2500. More than 5 crore, 5000 rupees. Composition dealer, nil then 10, other than nil, 25. Nil then maximum will be 250, other than nil, maximum will be 1000. NRTP, GSTR 5, 10 rupees, other than nil return, 25. Maximum will be 5000, no reduction. ISD, nil and others. GSTR 6, nothing. It is always 25 only. Maximum will be 5000. TCS deductor, GSTR 7, 25 rupees. Maximum will be 1000. TCS collector, GSTR 8, 100 rupees per day up to a maximum of 5000. Is my point clear? Might be at intermediate level they can ask 1 mark question. At final level, I don't think so. But good luck can be very good. Please read and go. Everyone over here now. Sir, annual return, what is the late fee? Listen. Annual return ka late fee depends on your turnover. Annual return ka late fee depends on your turnover. See, late fee for annual return. 100 rupees, maximum will be 0.25%. But now rationalized means reduced. Now the late fee has been reduced. If you are a registered person with aggregate turnover up to, so for an example, this is the current year. This year ke liye you are filing annual return. but you delayed it, then this delay ke liye you have to pay. If your turnover in the current year was up to 5 crore, then you have to pay 25 rupees per day up to a maximum of how much? 0.2% of the turnover. 0.02%. 0.02% of the turnover in state or UT. Sir, if registered person is having more than 5 crore up to 20 crore, 50 rupees per day, maximum will be same, 0.02%. Registered person with aggregate turnover more than 20 crore, then 100 rupees per day, maximum will be 0.25%. There is no reduction, it is the same if your turnover is more than 20 crore. Are we clear? I feel that 1 marker, 1 MCQ can come from late fees. Please be careful about this late fee and this late fee. You just have to see it once and go. Everyone, please come down. Next page, listen. Here, I've written some important point just for your reading purpose. At intermediate level, they ask question on this, but still, good luck can be very good. They can go ahead and ask you, sir, you know what points are there? Sir, a registered person should not upload scanned copies of their return. Okay, what is the problem? There is nothing. All these are small points which I've gone ahead and just written so that you can read it once and go. This is just reading category, everyone. Read it. Please come to the next page, everyone. Now listen. GST practitioner, till date I have not seen any question which has come in your exam which they have gone ahead and asked. Who is a GST practitioner, everyone? Who is a GST practitioner? A person who practices in GST, who files all the returns, etc. For GST practitioner, you can just read who are the people who are eligible. This category, this one. By chance, your good luck is very good and you saw in the exam who are the people who are eligible, then you can write this. And here you can read what are the functions of a GST practitioner. Just read and go. I believe it is C graded, but still they can still go ahead and ask you a 2-mark question. Your good luck can be very good. Please read and go. Please come to the top, everyone. Please come to the top. This chapter I have told you is a C graded chapter. 3 to 4 mark is something which I expect. I will tell you the most important point which you should take care. Number 1, this one. Cases debarred. I feel they can go ahead and ask you a 3-mark question. It's a very beautiful question which they can ask. Secondly, read in your book what is an annual return and what is a final return. Please read because they can tell the difference between annual return and final return. Next. This portion which is there, no? What is the return to be filed by NRTP, late fee and late fee? You can have 1 mark and 1 MCQ. MCQ it can come. Take everyone, this 3 points. Next. These important points which I have told you, know, you can get 1 mark MCQ from here. You can read these points and go. Just reading category, everyone. Reading category. This rule number 88C and 88D, I don't know what kind of a question they can frame from this. What kind of a question they would frame. But still, they can make a small case study. They can make a small case study and give it to you that Mr. Ram is one person. He has shown GSTR 1 made this much and GSTR 3 we made this much. What can be the implication? Are we clear? That kind of one small question can come. So I've gone ahead and told you in detail. These 2, please read it and go. Okay? Not read, means I've already told you. Just revision is enough. Now listen. Eligibility. Who are the people eligible? And what are the functions of a GST practitioner is completely reading category. I don't like it, means I don't think so they should go ahead and ask in the exam, but what if they do? So please read these 2 points and go for your exam, that's all. I will go ahead and close my revision on the chapter of returns over here. Let's go ahead, everyone. Done.